Hi, Jimmy Blakeney, President and Product Designer for ISLE. In this video, we're going to talk about our custom motor mount system. This system we developed and it is currently available on our Megalodon 3s, our Switch Pro, and our new Flywater Skiff-Kayak. And what we wanted to do is create a motor mount system for up to a 5 horsepower motor that is super easy for you to install a motor on all these products. What I have here are some of the things I'm going to walk through you with. For a Bixby motor, a Torpedo 3 horsepower, the Bixby's a 1 horsepower, a little transom mount, and our adapter plate. But first I want to show you that there's something that we really don't encourage you to use, and that's just regular screws. These are 1/4 screws, but really a screwdriver and screws, you can strip these out, the nuts inside these plates. So we really recommend you don't use this. Definitely don't use an electric drill. So we're just going to put those to the side. We definitely don't need those. And instead what we're going to use are these screws with these knobs and an Allen key. So that's really all we need. And so this is the only tool you're going to need to do this. So first things first, if you want to install a small motor like a Bixby, which is like a 1 horsepower equivalent, you only need to use the rear 4 power pull pattern screws. This power pull pattern is very common. It's the same pattern on all 3 of these adapters, transom mounts. And so the Bixby in particular, you only need the rear 4. You drop that on, you screw your screws on, off you go, because that doesn't have too much weight or too much torque. But once you get into a bigger motor, for example, I use the Torpedo 1103C Ultralight. It's a 3 horsepower equivalent. This adapter plate is required. And what this adapter plate is designed to do is to lay on top of these brackets, and when you then secure it down with the 4 screws up here, that is spreading the load of the torque up onto the board and preventing it from ripping off the back of the board, which would be a disaster. So I'm going to go ahead and install this plate. This plate is actually going to be in our navy blue. This is just one of our initial prototype plates, but it goes right over the screw holes, so you can see it line up. We've got a couple little extra tracks here too, by the way, in case you did want to use a T-bolt and secure some sort of accessory here. So that's why we have a couple extra tracks here. But basically, once I've got this plate over the top, you've got a little bit of room. We added a little bit of extra space here, so it's not like you don't have to line it up absolutely perfectly, but you do try to get it centered. And once you get that on, you're going to take these screws and these knobs. The screws have a Allen key on one end. That's going to be up, and then you want the bigger part of the knob facing down. So I like to take it, this is the top, I'll screw it on from the bottom, and once I get it on like that, I'll take my Allen key, line it up with one of my screws, and I can get it on a little further, put it over there, and now I can tighten this down. The thing about these brackets that you want to just be aware of is that this is an inflatable, these are all inflatables, and so what we don't want to do is screw this in too far into the board, because of course then we're going to reach the drop stitch of the board, and we don't want to damage the board or pop it. So you can kind of tell when you get these tight enough. You just do it until you feel the nut catch inside the brackets. So I've got this one on. Once it's there, I can now tighten it down, but I'm going to leave it loose for now. I'm going to take another one, put this one on. You can go a little further down, use your fingers, get it to the level you want, drop it into the nut and tighten it till I feel it catch on that nut. You feel it get snug, and that's really all you need. All right, so this system we really wanted to create because there's a lot of folks out there that are using e-assist on their watercraft, and a lot of watercraft don't have a way to do that so that you can install a real motor and make it really easy to install that motor. And the reason we like this versus the fin box type motors, which of course you can do on any of our boards, is a fin box motor. Bixby makes a really cool fin box adapter. The reason we like this is because it gets the motor up out of the water. It's not permanently under your board, so that if you want to paddle, you can still go for a paddle and the motor's not dragging. You can also get it up out of the way so it's not going to get damaged if you need to get it out of the way. So it gives you control, and it allows you to steer. so that you can actually steer using a steering system. So that's really what we wanted to solve by creating this on these Megalodon 3s. Again, our Switch Pro as well, and our new Flywater boat. So once I have these four on, the plate is pretty much on now, and I can tighten these down, and that's pretty much a done deal for having this plate on my board or my boat. So boom, that's now on there. It's not going anywhere, even though these back four are not installed. So now, if you get the adapter plate, you can use just like this with any motor. With the Bixby in particular, one thing to note, and I'm going to go through and put another one on as well. But for the Bixby, some of the Bixbys have this like a little tighter space at the back. So what you've got to do is kind of make sure your bolt and your knob, or your screw and your knob, look like that. Then you're going to slide it and kind of tuck it under there, and then you're going to start to tighten this down from that position. If you try to do it where you put the screws in first, it's just going to be really annoying, and the screw isn't going to want to go in, and it's going to be really annoying. So I've got to line this up. Actually didn't line that up very well. There we go. Yeah, so this is just the easier way to do this on these Bixbys that might have a little tighter space. Again, I'm feeling that catch, feeling it get snug, and then I'm able to tighten that down. So that's how I'm going to install a Bixby. Of course, do the same thing for the other four. I'm going to take this back out now because I'd want to show you just the other ones. So the other thing you can do with these is install actual little transom. So again, this is the power pole hole pattern. That's the key thing you want to know. This is a power pole hole pattern. It's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4 as far as the spacing of these screws. So again, I can place that right over it, put this over. I can actually hand tighten this down for a ways until I need to use my Allen key. Tighten it down. I'm going to feel that nut start to grab, snug up. Then I'm going to tighten that, and boom. So one really cool thing is this is the only tool you need. So really simple system. We want to make it turnkey, very easy to install. The other one is this torpedo. This is the transom adapter for your motor, and it clips in and out right here when you drop your motor in. So it's pretty cool. Once you get this installed, your motor just comes in and out. This just stays on your board. So it's pretty sweet, just like the transom. Same exact thing with the 4-hole pattern, power pole pattern. And yeah, that is our custom motor mount system. Hope you are able to use this on your board or your boat, because it is really fun to motorize and get out there and use it either for safety, for backup, for extending your range, or just if you just want to go full E propulsion. So that's it. We'll see you in the water.